Hello and welcome to What the Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. Welcome to day 1317. According to nonpartisan estimates, Trump's economic proposals would increase the national debt by $5.8 trillion over 10 years, nearly 5 times more than that of Kamala Harris's policy plans, which would add $1.2 trillion. Trump's plan to permanently extend the 2017 tax cuts, eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, and reduce the corporate income tax rate would add a net $5.8 trillion in deficits over the next 10 years. While the Harris analysis showed that her plan to expand the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, extend enhanced premium tax credits, provide support to first-time homebuyers, and raise the corporate tax income rate to 28% would cost just $1.2 trillion over 10 years. The Harris campaign called Trump's agenda an inflation and deficit bomb, while the Trump campaign blamed Harris for a Biden-Harris inflation tax. Moving on, the Supreme Court refused to temporarily lift a nationwide injunction blocking the Biden administration's federal student loan repayment plan. In an unsigned order, the court said that it expects the appeals court handling the case to render its decision with appropriate dispatch. More than 8 million people are enrolled in the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE program, which offers lower monthly payments and a faster path to loan cancellation. Meanwhile, 2 members of Trump's campaign staff had a verbal and physical altercation with a staff member at Arlington National Cemetery, where Trump was staging a campaign stunt. Trump, who once disparaged members of the U.S. military who had been captured or killed as losers and suckers, participated in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and then went to Section 60 of the cemetery, which is reserved for those recently killed in America's wars overseas. Arlington officials had reinforced and widely shared to the Trump campaign that federal laws prohibit campaign activities by photographers or any other persons attending for purposes or in direct support of a partisan political candidate's campaign in Section 60 of the cemetery. Still, when a cemetery official tried to prevent Trump's campaign from taking photos and videos inside Section 60, campaign staff members pushed and verbally attacked the cemetery official. The Arlington National Cemetery, meanwhile, said it can confirm there was an incident and a report was filed. Meanwhile, Trump is selling a collection of digital trading cards for $99 each. Supporters who buy 15 or more cards at a cost of $1,485 will receive a physical card with a piece of the suit that Trump wore for the presidential debate against Biden in June. Supporters who buy 75 of the America First collection of NFTs at a cost of $7,425 will get to attend a gala dinner at the Trump National Golf Club in Jupiter, Florida. Trump media, meanwhile, sank to its lowest level since shares became publicly traded, falling below $20 per share. Moving on, J.D. Vance once accused teachers who don't have children of trying to brainwash the minds of our children. During a forum for Republican Senate candidates in Ohio hosted by the Center for Christian Virtue in 2021, Vance said,
"And I think our conservative idea is that parents and families should determine what children learn, what values they are brought up with." You know, so many of the leaders of the left, and I hate to be so personal about this, but they're people without kids trying to brainwash the minds of our children. And that really disorients me and it really disturbs me. Randy Weingarten, who's the head of the most powerful teachers union in the country, she doesn't have a single child. If she wants to brainwash and destroy the minds of children, she should have some of her own and leave ours the hell alone.
He went on to criticize Randy Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, saying that she doesn't have a single child. Vance previously drew criticism over other resurfaced remarks from 2021, in which he called Kamala Harris, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Pete Buttigieg childless cat ladies, saying that they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And finally, an environmental group called on federal authorities to investigate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is now the co-chair of Trump's presidential transition team. Kennedy allegedly used a chainsaw to cut off the head of a dead whale, bungee corded it to the roof of his minivan, and drove it 5 hours across state lines roughly 3 decades ago when he was in his 40s. The story was shared by Kennedy's daughter Kathleen "Kick" Kennedy in a 2012 interview with Town & Country magazine. Kathleen told the magazine, "Every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet." She continued, "We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us." In response to the story being recirculated, the Center for Biological Diversity Action Fund wrote a letter to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration calling for the government agency to investigate whether Kennedy had violated the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Lacey Act. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.